Alright, this is Chris King and Casey Morris. We're going to be going over our CST-323 final project.
All right, so for our application, we created kind of a money transfer application. So within this application, we can register and log in users. We can perform CRUD operations on user profiles. We can send funds to other users, add friends, other users to a friends list, view transaction history, search for other users, and then we also implemented DevOps logging and monitoring.
So some of the design decisions, we had a short list of possible cloud service providers to choose from, like AWS and Azure. We decided to go with Heroku because it's small team friendly and has a very simple UI interface design, but it's still a very highly capable service. We decided to go with Spring Tool Suite and Timeleaf just because of how relevant it is in the industry currently. It's also very easy to incorporate into our desired functionality. Minimal pages, so we want our application to be very condensed, very clean and concise, also very easy for users to use and understand. And we're also using Spring Boot, as mentioned before. We're using Timeleaf to render our pages. We're also using Maven to build our application. And for the database, we're using MySQL. And we're also using Java for the technology stack.
All right, so to implement this application, we used an MVC design pattern, so model view controller with the Timeleaf pages, models created in Java, and controllers also created in Java. We have NLAyer architecture to enforce separation of concerns. We have business, data, and presentation layers. For our MySQL database, we have child to parent database relationships. So with the child tables, they will be connected to the parent tables using a foreign key to the parent table's primary keys. And then we also implemented Spring security within the application to make sure the data transfers are secured and the user profiles are secured.
All right, so now we're going to go through a quick demo of the application. All right, so this is our application on the cloud. Right now we're signed in to a registered user. As you can see, this user interface is really simple and user-friendly. Very simple, clean nav bar here, and then a search bar right here, very convenient. And then we're also monitoring using Uptime Robot.
So Uptime Robot, you can see our app is currently up. We did have a little bit of downtime, and when the application is down, it will send us an email letting us know so we can optimize our uptime.
So another functionality other than monitoring is logging. So if we switch between our pages here, basically you can see here in the URL, we're basically activating a bunch of controllers in the background so that when we go and view our logs here, this is basically what the logging looks like. You can see we have a bunch of get methods that are being called as we were navigating throughout those pages. We can also see stack traces from the controllers. You can see the different controllers that are being fired to activate each page, the transaction controller, blockchain business service, and so on. We're also met with a timestamp and the method that was specifically called within that class. So this is our actual application within Heroku. You can see within the deploy tab, we are connected to a GitHub repository right here. So this is what our code is coming from. The repository is automatically pushed through a pipeline and into the Heroku code base. And you can see right here, if we decide to shut down our application from maintenance mode, we go ahead and refresh this page. Oh, wrong page. Go ahead and refresh this page. You can see that we're met with an offline for maintenance mode, so Heroku is automatically taking care of our website for us, and all we have to do is provide it code from a repository through our GitHub repo. So in terms of limitations, there are currently no limitations within our project. What we mean by that is all the features that we had initially planned in our early design were fully implemented. However, there are a number of future possible additions to this application. For example, Heroku CI is an optional pipeline enable that allows the pipeline to run automatic tests. So every time you push to the repository that the Heroku pipeline is connected to, there's an option that the pipeline will wait for all the CI tests to pass before pushing to the Heroku code base.
Another future addition for our application would be to add value to the currency. So right now, our wallet is just a class that has a float value. What we would like to do is implement blockchain functionality, which would allow users to actually add currency and just add value, add actual value to the application.
So transaction notes, something that's commonly seen within current real world um, applications that allow users to send money to each other is the option to add notes to their transactions. So what this will essentially just do is allow users to be able to see notes in their transaction history attached to each transaction so they can see what the transaction is for. One more thing that I would like to add is the addition of ACID transactions into our application so that we can add rollback functionality and all that stuff into our transaction functionality. So these are some questions that could have been asked to us. One of them is, what was the most difficult part of development? What do you think it is?
So the most difficult part of development, for me at least, was understanding the monetary aspect of the application. So I don't really understand blockchain or cryptocurrency very well, so just the logic behind the application. Heroku and all of the cloud computing aspects were pretty easy to implement. And managing the code through the semester, how did we do that?
So we did it through GitHub Desktop. Really, it was all pretty much automated. We could easily push code to each other throughout the semester. And Heroku and the DevOps functionality pretty much handles the rest of the code management through automated build pipelines and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day.